What if mortality rate is less than 0.1% or less than 0.1%? Would we go back to work? Would we resume our daily lives? How do we know, or do we know, and who do we trust? In this video, I'll show you an example so you question your information. Are there politics in coronavirus? Yes, there is. This may be a period in our life where news just cannot be trusted. It is politicized, and there are more than enough examples to arrive at that conclusion. So in this video, I'll give you an example how we need to question everything because their agendas. There are people out there with their own agenda, and they're not telling us the truth. One of the news overlooked yesterday was a study. There were actually two studies from California where they prove, or so they say, that the actual infection rate in California and LA County in particular is up to 55 times than what is being reported. 55 times higher than reported. Wow, that sounds like bad news, doesn't it? I mean, if something is bad and then it's 55 times badder or worse than that, that probably is bad. Well, maybe not. As of this morning, LA has about 15,000 positive cases of COVID-19 and about 660 that recorded. That translates into about 4.4%. That's a lot. 4% of tested people who tested positive, not 4% of overall population. So if this study, it's actually done by University of Southern California, Center for Infectious Disease, I believe, what does that mean? 55 times more. Well, if you multiply 55 by 15,000, that translates into 825,000 people. So these experts from USC are telling us that LA County may have up to 825,000 people already infected. Now, we don't know if that's true, but again, statistics are like that. We do national polling, presidential polling, and any other sports polling, and statistics are pretty close, plus minus 2, 3, 4%. 800,000+ people. How come we don't know about them? Well, maybe they don't have any symptoms. And we don't go to the doctor if we don't have any symptoms. We may have X disease that it's nowhere not even in the books anywhere, but we wouldn't know about it because we go about our daily lives. If you like this video, click on that subscribe button. Watch some of my other videos about the economy, virus, statistics, and politics of it. So if that is the case, if 825,000 people in LA County have actually had the disease, either have it still or they had it, what is the mortality rate then? Well, if same 663 people died in 825,000, that translates into 0.08%. Now, that's low, isn't it? 4.4 versus 0.08, major difference. If we would know for a fact that mortality rate is less than 0.1%, because that's more or less what the regular flu is, I think we would go about our regular business without thinking much about it. What we do know about the virus is that greatly affects people, elderly people, male, and people with pre-existing conditions. So, following that formula, if you are over 60, if you are male over 60, if you are over 60 and have existing conditions, heart disease, lung issues, we need to protect those people. But what about the rest of us? The rest of us can go back to work, we can go back to school, we can go resume our daily lives. In conclusion, get your news from more than one source. Question everything. If you read something that you agree with, go find an article that you don't agree with, and look at their angle. Because we live in the times we are dealing with something we don't quite know what it is, And there's so much misinformation out there. I don't ever remember in my lifetime having anything like this before.